boring of a game.
65 sickos hanging.
What are we doing? All right, the Losers Lounge. What's up, everybody? Welcome into a Losers Lounge. Doesn't even feel like a Losers Lounge. Doesn't feel like a winner's lounge.
This might be like the first Losers Lounge I've been on this year.
Is it really?
I feel like I haven't been on one in forever.
I mean, it has been a long time, man. Other than 2 games ago.
Yeah. I wasn't here for that one.
The Nuggets fall to the Bucks. The Nuggets, in air quotes, fall to the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Was it impressive? I don't know. The kind of parts of it were.
We can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Make that segment too if you want.
I don't want to get too hyped. There were some players, though, that you got to evaluate that don't always get to play. And I think that'll be most of what we talk about. We also, throughout the course of the show, we'll be taking some mailbag, guys. I don't know if there's a full hours here. So if you guys want, if you have some questions that you want talked about, throw them in. Superchats will go to the top of the list. But Kill will also be on the lookout for just some Nuggets-related questions. We're presented, as always, by DraftKings Sportsbook. How'd we do, Dev?
We had some fun ones. Harrison hit his in about 2 plays.
Can I tell you guys what I did? I was trying to follow him, and I accidentally bet on blocks.
That was a big mistake. He definitely did not get a block.
They were on the same thing. It says like steals blocks, and then terrible.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
I got Vogt over here.
Well, I certainly regret the outfit choice right now.
Why is that?
That's a little easier to rock this in a winner's lounge.
Oh, yeah.
It's
you
kind of
look
an
all right.
anticlimactic
You got to
night.
spin the block with that. That's what,
I know.
That's what that's
Yellow
called.
sunglasses.
For sure.
What are you gonna
Over
do?
here, I got Harrison Wind.
With my winnings, I'm going to buy all you guys a beer after the show.
Ooh.
If the
I'm
bar's
holding you
still
to
open.
that. Holding you to that.
All of us a beer. And then over here, Superstar Dev.
While Harrison has not been in the Losers Lounge, I've been in 2 straight Losers Lounges.
Oh,
Man, that's right. You took
Maybe
off
that's
I
Tuesday.
really want to go back
problem.
and see what the last one was that I was in because I don't remember it.
Let's go through a fast breakdown here. We're going to go quickly here tonight on this breakdown because there wasn't a whole lot. Nuggets are battling. First note I have, man, you could tell they brought that energy. Offense was slow to come around. Their offense was not great tonight. In fact, I believe they had a 88.5 offensive rating tonight.
Not great.
Not great, Bob. Ish was in before Bones Highland, which I thought was curious.
notable.
And guess what? Comes out on fire. 8 points straight for Ish.
4 for 4.
I thought he was phenomenal in the first 5 minutes of the game and terrible the rest of the game.
That was about it.
That was about it. 27-26 Nuggets at the end of one quarter. Second quarter, Bones hit a 3 and it felt kind of big. Then he followed it up with a little bit of a run. He had been very passive in the game. He had a little run going. Giannis had 6 turnovers, including, and then there was this play where Vlatko crossed him over. Do you guys remember this? The little
yeah.
hezzy he puts on him.
Oh, yeah.
Crosses him over something fierce. But then, here's the thing. The Nuggets were playing really well, but part of it was their shot selection I thought was good. They were being it was hard for them to get good looks, but they weren't speeding the game up. They're like, no, we're going to be deliberate, whatever. They had this stretch where they lost that focus and jacked up a couple dumb shots. 3 in a row, 8-0 run for the Bucks.
That was it.
Bucks themselves had a horrible offensive process all game.
Oh my
God.
god.
A horrible offensive
Drew
process.
Holiday.
They were not into this game at all.
Drew Holiday should be prosecuted.
We'll get to a lot of this. But the Nuggets let him off that little hook, and it was like, damn it, you could have gone into the half up. This would have been awesome. And then Pat Connaughton turned into prime Steph Curry tonight. That guy was on fire. AG had 2 big blocks at the rim. Was it on Brook Lopez? I think it was both on Brook Lopez.
They were both on Brook Lopez.
And Denver rallied at the end of the half, 58-53, and you kind of felt like, hey, you know what? All right, let's see it. Nuggets chipping away in the third quarter. I think the Bucks just kept waiting for Denver to go away. All right.
They're like, when are they going to stop trying?
And Denver just kept chipping away, pulled within 1. Bucks not taking this game seriously at all. Shot selection ridiculous. And then Bones, I have a note in here. He was playing tonight extremely off ball. I would classify his game tonight as extremely off ball, looking to get out of the way. Very, very curious, I thought, from him for large parts of this. The final 3 minutes of the third quarter were a disaster. I'm telling you, Denver only played bad in these tiny little pockets, and it cost them the game. Unraveled to close it. Giannis picked up his 4th foul. They challenged it. It got overturned. That was a big one because I think that would have swung the game. And then Jeff hits a heave. They were down 11. Jeff hits a heave. Only down 8. All right, fourth quarter. Michael Malone, I thought the game also got lost here. Start the fourth quarter. DeAndre Jordan, you've got Giannis.
Well, that began at the end of the third quarter.
It did begin at the end of the third,
and then
during the unraveling.
Yes, and then DeAndre Jordan, for some reason, stayed out there to keep guarding Giannis to start the fourth quarter.
He did foul out.
Then quickly
immediately.
fouled out of the game.
Yep.
I don't know what Michael Malone was thinking there,
I
other
don't
than he
either.
didn't have any other bodies. It wasn't
Well,
like
he
there was a
had
lot
Zeke.
of choice. I mean, Zeke had been playing minutes too. I don't know what he was thinking, though, putting him out there, because it clearly was a horrible idea to begin with, and then it went terribly. It went horribly. Got them in the bonus. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to get too upset.
Yeah.
Then Jeff closes the game at center over Najee, plays basically the entire rest of the game. Christian Brown had a 3 to cut it to 5. Denver was in this first
They were
stint,
right there.
but then the doors come off
Christian
as
Brown three was
Giannis
huge.
paraded to the foul line. Some of them are just like, when you're a great player like that, so athletic, it's like, yeah, he's going to draw a lot of fouls. But some of them I thought in this game were like, come on, man, like that?
Yeah.
It just was so so
If
crazy.
the Bucks are
man.
going to win the championship this year, it might be because it's just impossible to guard Giannis with how the game is being called this season.
He was drawing a lot of, like I said,
That's why they might win it.
super athletic players draw fouls really well. It's one of the reasons Jokic doesn't draw fouls is like he's not that hyper athletic. So some of this is just by nature of his talent and his skill set. But there was definitely 2 or 3 of those on AG, I thought, and I was like, man, what are you supposed to do? Like, that was good defense. He beat him to the spot. Then he goes straight up, and I was just like, I don't know. But whatever. They didn't lose because of that. They lost because they were missing their roster. All right, start us off, Dev. Big take. Come on, man. You got some big
Gotta
takeaways.
deliver here,
Hey,
Dev.
narrow it down to just one, though. I know there's a
Expectations
lot.
are high.
Yeah. Narrow it down to one big takeaway.
My one big takeaway is if that is the contender in the East, if that's the team that's supposed to win the East, sign me up for Nuggets versus the Bucks.
Man, this is an interesting. I was going to bring this up later on, but you were just supremely unimpressed.
Let's just start trashing the
And it
Bucks
wasn't
off the
even
top.
that I was very impressed. Unimpressed. I was impressed by Denver's effort.
Yeah.
That was without their starters, and they wanted to battle and truly compete and show them that they are going to give them their best shot. So I think that would have to be my takeaway is just that Denver is a team that can compete with that squad, and we got to see it with their C squad, D squad.
I think there's no question Denver can compete. I'm just so high on Denver, their fully healthy roster. I think they compete with anyone. I will say, this reminds me last week, our friend Jace,
I was just
Jace
gonna say
Frederick,
this, yep,
when
yep.
Denver played Minnesota, and by the way, won, and on the second night of a back-to-back, and also they played like ass that game, he's like, man, this Denver team's just not serious. No one should fear them. And it's like, well, this isn't exactly their good game. They're playing a bad team, and
This
they're
is that
sleepwalking.
version of that for
That
us.
was
No
them.
doubt,
Like,
no doubt.
the Bucks tonight brought their C-minus game.
And still shot 43% from 3.
And won.
In the end.
And won.
And turned it over 22 times.
And won easily. Like, you can't always judge it. Tonight, I just thought, I was also supremely unimpressed with Milwaukee.
I'm with you, Devin, and I was also very unimpressed.
So you're going with this?
Yeah, I was unimpressed. Like, their process was
unimpressed too.
awful, man. Like, the Bucks played tonight like everybody on that team doesn't like playing with one another. Like, they just play for themselves, I feel like. I mean, I will trust them to come together in the playoffs, but they're just kind of meandering through the regular season, I feel like.
It's like an ISO team, man, honestly. They play like what the Brooklyn Nets or something, where there would be plays where you come down, Drew Holiday would just dribble for 8 times, get into the mid-range and do a sidestep, and you're like, that's the offense?
It can be like that, though. That's the one thing about the Bucks is, like, as amazing as they are, I think compared to some of the other best teams in the league, sometimes the half court, it's like, well, that doesn't seem as replicable or as sustainable as, say, Denver through Jokic when they're healthy.
Right.
But to Dev's point, like it's not about tonight, actually. I've always liked the way the Jokic teams have matched up with the Giannis teams.
Yeah.
I've always liked these games. Now they're regular season and not playoffs, and I get it. But it's never felt to me like, man, everything Milwaukee does well just kills Denver. Denver always gets up for this matchup. I thought they did again tonight. So it's more of an extension of a belief that I already had, in which I like this matchup for Denver. I really do.
I mean, they can really sit down and guard. I mean, that's the thing is, and I know Denver didn't have a very good offensive process themselves tonight. I mean, they didn't have anybody to create for them. But nonetheless, like, Milwaukee has a lot of guys that are just hard to score on.
Absolutely. Yeah, they got a lot of great defenders on that roster, for sure.
Is Milwaukee's defense better than Denver's offense?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Because I think Denver's defense against the way they play is just like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
You're not running a ton of pick and roll.
Let Drew Holiday take 20-foot contested jumpers. If he goes 9 of 20, you have to live with it.
And KCP's a
what
good
happened
defender.
tonight.
Yeah, like if you're not going to run a lot of pick and roll, then Denver's going to guard you
Yeah.
at least an average rate.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with Denver's defense against these guys, unless it's just Giannis going to the rim and the foul line every single possession.
What should it be? But you throw bodies at him. What for you, Harrison? What's your big takeaway?
My big takeaway was Aaron Gordon. 26 points, 14 rebounds tonight. Something that's been the case with Aaron Gordon all season is he plays his ass off every night. And tonight, I feel like he had every excuse to pack it in and take a night off. Nikola Jokic out, Jamal Murray out, Michael Porter, KCP. He was the only starter who played tonight, and he played his ass off the whole game. Like, he was going 100%, 100 miles an hour from the opening tip until the final buzzer, and I was impressed. Like, he brought it. He really, really brought it tonight. So I just love to see that effort from him, and it's just kind of been a continuous theme of his season. He brings it every single night.
Would you say he's the DraftKings Sportsbooks king of the game?
I would. I was.
You might say that he was. We got it ready, I'm told. Maybe not as ready. There it is. 26, 14, and 4. That's a hell of a line, honestly. 26, 14, and 4. I think he was, 10 of 23 from shooting, something of that nature.
Yeah. And it wasn't the prettiest offensive game.
No.
He took some terrible shots tonight. He took some. He took some Orlando Magic Aaron Gordon shots, but he had to because a lot of the creation tonight was just kind of up to him.
Yeah. I thought he played really well tonight. Vogt, we were worried that, he needed some rest, his shoulder, this or that. Does it make you feel better that he played tonight? Yes. He must be fine, right?
I mean, initially, no, right?
Right.
Please don't do this. But to Wynn's point, he certainly didn't play like a guy that was trying to protect himself from something getting out of hand.
I just have a lot of respect for Aaron Gordon.
Me too, man.
How he just goes out and battles every single night, plays through injuries, that never has an excuse.
And maybe some of it when, like that last game, he didn't play very well. Maybe he was like, I don't want to rest on that. I don't want that to be the final note before I take a break. I can be better.
It actually makes me feel better about the injury because that's an easy candidate for, hey, you need a night off. We're resting everyone else. You are also resting. So, I mean, it had to be his own personal decision to say, no, I'm good enough to not only go, but I'm going to push it to the limit. After not having such a good game where it did look like he was injured. In this game, he did not look injured. He looked tired because, of course, he's in a different role, but he didn't look injured. And the fact that he played when everyone else did it, I'm excited about the rest of the season because I thought there was going to be a time where he was going to have to sit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have a big takeaway for me?
It was the same thing as Dev's, just that I like this matchup. But I would also frame that as, is that really a takeaway from this game?
I know.
Not really. That's an extension of something I already believed. It's tough to take something from this game. Other than, like, I'm glad Denver punted insofar as who they played, but the players on the floor did not punt, and I respect that. I appreciated the way some of them played, particularly Christian Brown. It was fun to watch him get some run, and my big takeaway was Wind hitting his Christian Brown bet in 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
That's why betting is so much more fun, especially on a game like this, as you're like following along with that all the time. I don't even. I'm kind of with you. I don't know that I have a big takeaway. More, there's some players that I thought were very interesting to watch in this one and kind of monitor. Christian Brown was one of those guys. I just have always felt like he belongs. He guards people well. He's big. He's physical. Like a guy like Drew Holiday. There's a couple plays where like Bruce Brown will get against him, and he's just so much bigger than Bruce, and he just looks big. Yeah. Christian Brown looks bigger than all the guards.
He is.
I mean, he is bigger, but he looks bigger.
Yeah.
So then, all right. So that was one of my big takeaways. Bruce Brown battled tonight. I don't know how effective he was. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Tonight. I thought he was pretty effective overall. He just, when you need scoring, he kept going to the floater over Giannis.
Right. It's like Bruce is out there with a lineup of him, Christian. I mean, just look at the starters. And if Aaron Gordon isn't making something happen, it was kind of on Bruce to get into the lane and fork up one of those 10, 12-foot floaters that never look like they're going in that sometimes go in.
It wasn't even that Bruce was only forcing those type of shots, but he was also forcing passes that were not there.
Yeah.
Which is, a bit shocking just because he seems to be like the third point guard. So you would expect him to, in this like setting, try to run the offense, run the team, and get them going. They elected to go with Aaron Gordon in this game, so I would expect that Bruce Brown's turnovers would have been lower, but they weren't lower. So he really just tried to gun it, just try to make things happen, and a lot of times it wasn't happening in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah, I thought he actually finished with more turnovers than assists tonight, and there were one too many shots I didn't love. And like, to say that I blame him, right? Wynn's framing is also important. It's like a weird lineup. I don't know where the offense is going to come from. I don't expect the third string ball handler to look awesome without the best players. I just didn't think, for as hard as he played, I didn't think Bruce played a very clean game tonight.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, I want to talk a little bit about Bones Highland, because I thought of all the players that you say, like, the way they played tonight was interesting. To me, he was the most interesting. Not the effectiveness, not this or that, the style choices that he played with tonight. We'll do that on the other side. Also, send in your questions so we get to the mailbag later.
Take your shot at turning buckets into big cash with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. They're my go-to for hoops action. They're our go-to on the pregame show. Tune in. We make money. If you're not tuning in, you're losing out on free money. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. New customers, sign up right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code DNVR. New customers right now, bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code DNVR, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also got to shout out Pins and Aces. Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of DNVR. Pins and Aces gear is awesome. If you wear it on the golf course, off the golf course, you'll get compliments on it, guaranteed. They've got awesome polos, hats, golf bags. They got the beer sleeve as well. It keeps 7 beers ice cold in your golf bag for an entire round. Go to pinsandaces.com. Use the code DNVR, get 15% off your first order, and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Use the code DNVR.
All right, back here, second segment. Don't forget DNVR Nuggets Podcast. If you ever missed an episode, too late, you're feeling tired. I already filmed mine now. Is this supposed to be for mine?
I don't know. Does someone have an open tab?
This is not for mine.
Don't do it
that
live.
one?
I thought
We'll
it was
do it
you,
live.
boss.
What's on the tab? Just shout it
Yeah,
out.
does anybody know?
Got a burger on there?
Who had a burger
Not
tonight?
me.
I did, but I already paid.
Oh, maybe is that you, Kale?
Kale.
Oh, my
Kale.
gosh. Super producer Kale didn't close out.
Where's
before.
Yaya?
Unbelievable. The guy tonight that I thought had the most interesting game was Bones Highland. And part of this was, it's funny because he took 14 shots, which is the second most. Two other players took 14. AG, of course, took 24. But I still felt like he was being extremely passive in this game, and it's been a trend lately. Like, Bones is a scorer. There were so many times that, like, Denver couldn't score tonight. And there were still so many times where I felt like he was trying not to score again. Dev, am I seeing things?
No, it just really looks like Bones' confidence is down, and that's like
It seems real low.
well, affecting different parts of his game. There was like a little small spree in this where he did get it going, and that's where I think that the field goal attempts like went up, because he's like, okay, I finally have something going. We're not seeing that same bounce, that same flair that he had last year and also at the beginning of the year, where I think he's just trying to find who he is as a player, or just trying to find something that sticks.
Yeah.
I think that is just, he's searching for, at different times, like the game is calling for him to do something and he's just looking for something else, which is just a processing thing. And this game needed him to score. They needed him to be a guy that can, put the ball in the basket, but he's looking to facilitate. Other games needs him to facilitate, but he wants to shoot. So I think that he's just still in that learning stage. And this was a game like it had ups and downs. This was not a good Bones game. But again, you said it was interesting.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like you definitely saw it right when he checked in. It was notable. I mean, we can talk about why we think Ish Smith might have checked in before him. I thought that was weird. But he checked into the game, and, the first 5-6 minutes that he played, he turned down open threes that he usually takes. He looked to keep the ball moving. He looked to get his teammates involved. I didn't mind it. And then, in the second quarter, he looked to find his own offense. But overall, Bones, over these last couple games, he looks like a player to me that's pressing and playing under pressure. Like, playing under pressure to play the right way. He's not playing his game. Like, Bones Highland isn't being Bones Highland right now.
Yeah.
And if he's going to get back to the level he was at last year. He's got to get back to being Bones Highland, like, no matter if people want him to be that or not.
I want to push back a little bit. I thought what you're saying applied to his first minutes for sure. And then I thought there were times for the rest of the game where he was trying to get to that second level, the floater. There were a couple of times where he had an ISO on Giannis, and he was like, I'm doing this. And I was,
Yeah, like, all right, that's
do
a
you
bad,
have
bad
to?
idea.
So I would say, I think generally in his game, I agree with you lately. Although tonight I thought there was a little bit of him trying to get himself going in that second level.
What about confidence?
I agree that it's lacking. I agree. But I think it's just I think there's a lot of thinking, you know?
Yeah.
You know when it did like pop in this game? When he got the one-on-one finish on Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
That did something for him.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, there's something there. Like he's starting to look like his old self, and he's trying to like turn the corner. But that was like a great one-on-one move against one of the best defenders in the league, and then he follows that up with an ISO finish on the other end of the floor. So you just want him to just get to that point. Like I do think that Bones is going to be back. It's just right now he's like just trying to. It's like double dutch. Do you guys know double dutch?
Is that with two jump ropes?
Yeah, 2 jump ropes where he's like he doesn't know when to jump in.
Right.
Like it's like
Great analogy.
he's not finding the rhythm. So
I
it'll
thought
come.
for sure I was like, this could be so terrible.
That was great.
This is gonna be a
That was exactly
horrible
what I was
one.
trying to say.
You were trying to do
My
the
whole
double
thing,
dutch?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that was really good.
He's trying to, feel it. Like,
Yeah.
It reminds you a little bit. I saw somebody in the comments say it's like, oh, it's like Bol all over again. It almost to me is more like Michael Porter in that clearly there is a skill set that is in excess of what is needed from the team. And I think with Porter, in some ways, Porter has fit in so nicely this season into what it is Denver's trying to do that it's almost going to be hard to be like, yeah, but he has more to that. Like, now how do you tap into that? And I think there's a little bit of that going on with Bones right now. It hasn't been as long, but there is a little bit of a am I supposed to, okay, so on this lineup, they don't need me to do the one thing that I'm the best at, which is beating guys off the dribble or getting to my step back and taking the deep three. He's almost like cutting that out. I mean, there's a little bit of shake to his game tonight, as you're mentioning. There was a couple plays, but it wasn't a lot. And if you think about a month ago, people were upset because there was all that. It was like every time down, he was trying to break a guy off the dribble and get to the rim. And I just feel like the scale is so far in the other direction right now, naturally, but I'm kind of am hoping that it's like, yes, but there is room for this. There is room for you to get to that 3, for you to get to that, especially on a night like tonight when it was hopeless that Denver was going to get to 100 points without him.
yeah.
That last one, the game was over, but I think he was it Brook Lopez? He had all turned around and he shot out of a cannon to the rim.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I miss,
He's the best on the team at that,
So
honestly.
In some ways, he did some stuff tonight that made me feel like confidence-wise, he can build off that for sure.
So Bones has an interesting weekend coming up. I don't know if you guys saw this. On Friday, because Philly's close to Delaware, right there. I know my East Coast geography. So it's kind of a home. Philly is kind of the homecoming for him. Like, that's the area closest to where he gets to play near family or whatever. On Friday, they're retiring his jersey from his high school.
Yeah.
He posted this on social. And then, of course, on Saturday, I'm sure he'll have a handful of people at that game. I hope that that's a line of demarcation game. What happened last year in Philly?
He had a monster game.
Probably not such a coincidence. I mean, part of this is, and I've mentioned this all the time, nobody in Philly ever wants to hear it. They don't talk about it. Part of why he went off is because Joel Embiid was so concerned with not getting scored on that he just decided not to guard the pick and roll.
Was he in drop the whole game?
Was he? He might have been a little bit little worried about the one-on-one
Just
battle
hanging out
he's
in
in.
drop.
Yeah.
And all it cost him was the MVP.
All it cost him was the game and the MVP. But I think one of the reasons is that, Bones was one feeling it at that period of time in his career, last year. And then two, maybe there's a homecoming. So I'm hopeful that this is a memorable game for Bones, that this is like a line of demarcation where you're like, there, you got it going. Got that mojo back.
That would be great. I mean, a Bones resurgence would be so good. Such a cool second half storyline heading into the playoffs. Like, that would be awesome. I hope that happens.
Is there any other player that you think deserves any mention in this? Davon Reed played tonight. Peyton Watson didn't play. I kind of would have liked to have seen him if he was healthy enough to go.
Me too.
I just would have liked to have seen some minutes for him, but whatever.
Yeah. Davon did not have the shot going tonight.
He did not. 7 boards, though.
Got on the glass, though. 7 rebounds.
What did you guys think of Jeff tonight?
Fine.
No.
It was typical Jeff.
Jeff, a lot
glad
of
you brought
players
him up.
a lot of players stepped out of their element and explored their game.
Yeah.
Jeff Green explored his game in this one.
You thought
he took so many shots. Like, he just felt like he had the mismatch. And I feel like everybody thought that they had the mismatch. This was the prove it game for everybody on Denver. And he was that guy.
What about Z-Dog?
Z-Dog did too. He did a step back three.
Z-Dog was in it tonight.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. But yeah, like this is one of those games where you're not going to be critical of him. You're not going to be harsh because like it was a setup loss and they're missing so many players, so you have to do something. But I was just shocked that he was the one that he's like, this is my time. This is where I'm going to stand.
I thought it's funny that you think that because my thing on Jeff Green tonight was I just felt like there were a lot of guys that were in like prove it underdog. You don't kick away. And I just felt like my biggest complaint with Jeff, and I get it, he's a vet. He never rises above second gear.
Jeff Green, game 1 of the season, Tuesday in December against Detroit.
Doesn't matter.
Game 7 of the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
He's going to play the same exact way with the same amount of energy.
And that's why tonight there just was a couple moments that you were like, oh man, the intensity. And then he's out there just kind of like, nah, it's not that intense actually.
He took 8 threes. I mean, he made the buzzer beater, so we're not counting that one. But he took 8 threes in the game.
Every time.
I love that the one of his 2 made threes.
Yeah, he was the buzzer beater.
And I generally like
That was
Jeff.
a pure shot, too.
He's so far out of my circle of trust on open threes. It's like when there's a ball is popped in possession and it finds him, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then sometimes I think he like his energy comes in short spurts right away and then right at the end. And he had those 2 monster offensive rebounds, which were genuinely the most effort I've ever seen him give rebounding in the first quarter. And then it kind of waned a little bit. I don't know, man. Jeff's an interesting one, and I'm interested in the question because he's back now, and as other guys come back, it's another question for this rotation, particularly with regards to Vlatko, and just sort of what do you value in terms of the lineups you're building there.
Yeah.
Do we have a couple how many super chats came in?
Ooh, a flurry of
All right,
them.
let's get to, and then do you have some other ones saved for, all right, so let's get to the super chats
KO.
first and foremost here.
Gordon Glazner. I'm proud of our B team for giving them all through all they could handle. Excellent defense, energy. Good to see some of the bench with more minutes and our starters with rest.
There you
The
go.
Nuggets
so
did
positive.
lower their defensive rating tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Drew Holiday lowered their defensive rating
Drew
tonight.
Holiday did, man.
And
That
they were
guy.
already like dropping like they were like middle of the pack.
The Nuggets are the 15th best defense in the league before tonight.
Yeah,
It's
and there's gonna
underappreciated how seldomly guys step outside the lines when they play with Jokic. Like
We'll read it, Kale.
watching him, I was like watching Drew tonight. I was just like, I would be going crazy.
I would
if that
be
guy was on
pulling my
team. I
hair
would be
out,
so
dude.
mad.
God.
I'm like, wow, you're a lot closer to Dylan Brooks than I realized.
He kind of is. Honestly, like he kind of plays like Dylan Brooks. You're right. Incredible defender.
couldn't believe it.
And then the shot selection is just like, wow.
And I don't watch enough Bucks. Like I don't watch their whole season, but every time I tune in, I'm always like, dude, what is he doing?
Yeah, he's a
But he
little
also helped
aggressive
them
here.
win a title, so
Dylan Brooks.
what else do we got? Freddie, I'm going to read this because you paid for it, but I just want to make it known that I hate it. Okay. Bones is too busy doing podcasts and making horrible rap songs to care about basketball. I'm so done with him.
That's kind of that's pretty lame.
A bit on the harsh side, I would think. Second-year player. But you paid for it. Alejandro Botello, I really hope this is a get-right game for the bench. They saw they can do it. They hung around a team that has NBA championship pedigree. Be proud, boys.
I honestly do
I
feel
am
there's
proud of
something
them.
like this about the Nuggets are just like, they're tough, man. Like,
Yeah.
Early in the season, I was talking about, do they have the toughness, this or that? Like, I think they have a mental toughness. Like, they're a pretty mentally tough team.
I think so too, man.
They play hard. Like, everybody on that roster is going to come in and play hard. It's a trait.
I think that's been true of Malone teams more than is given credit
Definitely,
for over
yeah.
the years. Sam Donald, $8-ish for MVP. Proud of the gang despite the situation. God bless the others. Happy Australia Day. Apart from the genocide of our indigenous friends.
I don't know what that means. Is
should
it
we
Australia
be
Day?
celebrating it or not?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Seems like a lot
There's
to
a lot of
sweep
there's a
under
lot of
the rug.
self-guilt. There's a lot of self-guilt I felt
Yeah,
in
but
that.
real fast, Ish Smith for MVP is what he led with.
Yeah, it's
Someone
true.
type that out.
Maybe he typed
Someone
that
paid to
out
say
in
that.
the
2023.
first 8 minutes of the first quarter.
Wow.
Matthew
Because he was
Bryan.
gunning for that DraftKings king of the game.
First game since 2018 between these two teams that had a single-digit margin of victory. Anyone down for finals consisting entirely of blood? That's a good question.
Nuggets in 4.
Let's do it. I would love, honestly, like, playing the Bucks in the finals to me would be the least pressured finals. Like to me, I'd be like, you know what? I don't hate that team.
Me too.
And I don't think I would grow to hate them.
I think Denver can handle them.
I think we say that now. And
I
then
know,
we're
that's
like
probably
all
true.
against Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
All these Bucks fans we've never
Pat
heard.
Connaughton, man.
so much.
Pat
Man.
Connaughton.
Yeah.
Harrison is bringing like ladders to Ball Arena. And
Start calling Giannis a free throw merchant. It gets really ugly really fast.
Tell you who I
All
would
right, is that it?
definitely hate.
All right.
These are
We'll
just
get to
regular
those in the
mailbags.
second segment here. Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll get to your mailbag questions. Do a little mailbag pod. Enough talking about this game.
Mailbag with
Talk
the
about the
fellas.
general Nuggets.
Amen. Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR. If you don't know where to get Breck Brew, check out the Breck Brew beer locator at breckbrew.com.
By the
That
way,
will tell you where to get Breck Brew.
Friday, we're going to be doing our show live
Yes.
from the Breck Brew Farmhouse down in Centennial. Hey, you guys can come watch it and hang with the fellas if you want. We're going to be
Come
there
hang
live
out.
at 2 o'clock doing our show from there, so it should be a fun one. Drinking some beer. 10% off if you do come. So if you come down there, they have great food, by the way. Said they're feeding us. Coming
I'm into
hungry.
that. I'm into that. I'm doing 2 podcasts that day.
Yeah, if you just say you're with DNVR, you get 10% off your entire tab.
No, Friday, live from the farmhouse.
So yeah, hit us up if you're out there. Also, make sure to check out Breck Brew's latest release, the Mile High City Golden Ale.
Great beer.
Tastes great, great can. You just feel good looking at it, feel good drinking it. Pick it up at your local liquor store, at your grocery store, wherever they sell Breck Brew. Also, Shady Rays. Shout out to Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that is just as good as any expensive pair. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com, use the code DNVR, or visit them in-store at Park Meadows Mall for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. It's an incredible deal. Get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's exclusive to DNVR listeners.
Shady Rays is dope. For sure dope. All right, we got some mailbag questions from the people. What do we got?
Mixer. Do the Nuggets need a trade, and who do we trade for? Rumors on Espen mentioned we're looking for bigger wing defender.
I mean, I told you guys this really since the Calvin Booth era, since Calvin Booth took over. Denver, I think, is going to try to get longer and longer. And by the way, I don't think just Denver. I think the NBA, like for a while there, everybody's looking for the shooter, this or that. I think right now the entire NBA is like, can we get rid of everybody under 6'3" and just sign everybody that's 6'8"?
The Nuggets are going to
I
look
hate
to add people in the Christian Brown mold.
Yep.
Christian Brown is a 6'6" shooting guard. He's got plus size at the 2. They're going to try to add guys with plus size everywhere.
Well, exactly it. So the answer is yes, but so is everyone else.
Yeah.
Not like Denver. It would be nice if Denver was looking for the one thing nobody else
Yeah,
was.
they cracked the code before everybody else.
Nickname question. Too bad D-Line's not here. How do we feel about Bruce the Moose? I don't know, man.
I feel like that's probably been suggested at one point or another.
Tried to tell you the spruce. Tried to tell you.
I do like the
spruce
spruce more than the moose.
Yeah, I don't get the moose part.
Christian Brown.
It rhymes.
That's
And like if you said goose, it probably wouldn't be as cool.
yeah, that's true.
Goose Brown.
Yeah.
The goose can get loose, but I think he's
the
more of
moose
a.
cannot
I would
get
say he's
loose.
more of a spruce. He's solid,
I'm
man.
glad we got to the bottom of that.
He's
hey,
spruce.
quick question from me. That backpack, that frozen backpack he wears, that's a rookie hazing thing, right?
Of course it is.
No,
Of
he's just a
course
big
it is.
frozen guy.
I was just double checking.
Dude, Ricky hazing. Are we like? How? It's 2023. How long do you think this is gonna last? Forever?
Yeah.
We always gonna have Ricky hazing?
Yeah. We
Yeah, I
haze
think
Kale.
that they want
He's
those
been here the whole time.
stories and things like that. It's the
Just
stories.
Oh man,
That
I had
feels
to
a
wear
little-
this frozen backpack for a full year. It was
It was so crazy. They made me wear a frozen backpack.
those guys, man.
Oh,
All
man.
right, what-
Jeff and
I
Deontay.
can't believe I got through my rookie year.
Man, those guys.
Jose, check it in. AG made Giannis work. BB and CB are pure hustle. Let's fucking
Dude,
go.
the people are feeling hyped after this loss.
I love it,
Yeah.
dude.
Let's
no,
go,
I love
baby.
it, man. I'm proud of this team too. They battled tonight.
They did
Absolutely.
battle.
That's good because people were pretty bummed
Got a
after the
close-up
last
of the
win.
backpack
So
right there.
we've gone full circle. Egg Shin, there's a name. Big question. Did Brown dunk on Giannis? Let's say yes.
He
Oh,
definitely
no.
stared him down though after the
Yeah.
dunk, which was pretty hilarious.
Actually, I wish we could play highlights on this show because I tell you, this is actually what happened. He dunked by him. It was a dunk by. And then I think he looked around to like, did anyone see that
Yeah.
I dunked on? Like, he looked around like, are you guys as hyped as I am?
Christian
and
Brown.
nobody was. And I think he's like, all right, so maybe it wasn't a
Christian
dunk
Brown
poster.
like looked at Giannis and stared him down, like hoping nobody saw him stare Giannis down.
I think Giannis tried to block it from behind. So
Super
He
late.
was
But
like, I hope nobody
the
saw
good
that.
thing is that like the rookie went down the lane, didn't care who was
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and just finished it. So like, I mean, Giannis jumped, so we can't just say no, but it wasn't like an actual dunk.
It's a dunk by, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a poster.
Oh, this is a good question.
Not dunked on. Just come on. But it was cool.
5-5-5-5-5-ish. Now that we are halfway through the season, what are your guys' updated circles of trust?
The circle of trust. Timestamp this one,
a
Kale.
great question.
The circle of trust. All right, I'll let you start. Wind, why don't you start us off?
Should I just nominate?
Who's in the circle of trust?
Okay. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon.
That's probably it.
That's it in the circle of trust?
For my circle of trust?
Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
yeah, no Christian Brown.
Wait, what's going on here? Off-brand win.
Snap.
Brent's he's a phony, dude.
Oh snap!
Such a phony.
Something else.
Are you
something
saying
happened
that
here.
you wouldn't find minutes for Christian Brown?
That's a different question. That's a different
He's not in
question.
your circle of trust.
He's got 1 foot in the circle.
I think that's the right answer.
Man, he's in my circle of trust. I'll go ahead and say it. I just don't think he makes mistakes. He's such a low mistake player that for me, he's in the circle of trust. And I think he's going to, like we talked about, Giannis is in the lane. He still takes it hard. I just don't think he's a guy that's like, oh my God, it's a pressure situation. I'm choking. I just think he's going to make 32% of his threes.
He had that backcourt violation today.
That wasn't his fault, though. Can I tell you something?
Aaron Gordon.
That was
set
Aaron
him up.
Gordon's fault, man. He set him up.
It was a bad play though. Like he
was a
didn't
bad
have
play.
to go to the other side of the court either. But he got put in a bad spot.
He got put in a bad spot.
I'll add this. He's not in it, but this is the closest I've felt with Michael Porter to the answering that question, as opposed to just is he talented?
That's such a good question.
He's not in it yet, but
I mean,
like
he's not in mine, but I'm with you.
But he's closer to it for me.
Do you think we see
somewhat
Porter on
close.
Saturday? I guess it's a tough one to know.
I just can't answer that. I don't know.
I will say it's an ABC game. Like that one would be a
That'd be
tough one to return
come
on.
back, yeah.
Dev.
Who's in my circle? I mean, I just gave him shit, but it's the exact same. I don't stand Christian Brown. That's the only reason I called it out. But that's actually the circle of
You don't
trust.
stand him, but is he the closest one that's not in the circle?
No.
Who's the next one?
Bones. For me.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that you're gonna need him to play well if you want to win a championship. You need somebody in that second unit that can score. You want him to get back to what he was. I'm not saying he's there right now, and that's what takes him out of a circle.
Right.
But you want him in there because that's how you win.
Bones being in the circle of trust by the end of the season ups Denver's title
Oh,
odds by
man.
like
Yeah, they're winning
10%.
it all if he's
It's
in the
by
circle.
it's by a lot.
Yeah.
By a lot. Vote.
Yeah, same one, but I just with the Porter addendum that I added. But I think Wynn got it right.
I'm the only guy that has Christian Brown. Wow, I can't believe I'm the highest on Christian Brown. He's in my circle of trust.
Really,
He'll do his
really
job.
close. He's really close. I mean, maybe if he had played some more minutes up until this point,
Yeah.
he would have been in mine. But I just need to see a little bit more.
I definitely can't do Jeff, Zeke,
Night
Vlatko. Like I just can't do it. And then with
do it.
Michael, like with Porter, it's not anything he's done. It's like I just need to see him guard more.
Sure.
Like teams are gonna have to put him
Stay
in
on
that
the
spot.
floor,
And
all
we'll
of it.
see.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
Question for the guys from Eric Weedham. Do you miss me or nah? You know the answer.
Eric
to
Weedham,
that.
don't recognize the name.
Yeah, I don't know that
new
either.
Commenter.
I think he comes
Wedham?
through sometimes at the bar.
Eric Wedham.
D-line, do we miss him? No, he
No.
quit on us at a moment when he knew this game was going to be
Yeah,
bad. He knew
pulled
they
a,
were sitting.
he pulled a veteran move.
He did pull a
tonight.
veteran move of like, hey man, if nobody else wants tonight off, I'm thinking about taking the night off. No reason.
Yeah, Nuggets Bucks should be an exciting game, but I'm just gonna take the night off.
He'll be here for Saturday's 76ers game.
And loud.
Oh man, unless the Nuggets lose, and then he'll be like, I can't do it.
I'm done. I'm going home.
Which will be all of us. We will have no post game show if they lose that one.
This is a deep cut.
Oh wow,
Honking like a Bruce.
honking like a Bruce.
That's actually my favorite.
That'll be a tweet before
That
too long.
is a big
That's
throwback.
gonna be a great
Yeah,
one.
I'm stealing that one for you.
D-line, make the shirt.
Troy
It's gonna be an
Johnson.
uncomfortable image on that shirt.
If we win tonight, is Brown in the circle, Harrison? If they had won this game, would they have been in the circle?
Oh, maybe. Fuck, maybe.
One more from Troy. What semi-realistic trade, if any, would you want the Nuggets to make? We talked a little bit about this. I personally would be fine if they stand pat, but I'm obviously interested in what you guys think.
You want circle of trust guys, and we just named not that many. We basically named 5.
5, and then Christian Brown's the 6th.
I mean, I think going into a playoffs,
You need more than that.
you need 7 or 8 guys. So either somebody grows into it or you make a trade for one.
Yeah.
Joe Ingles playing for this team to me is honestly kind of funny. Like he's
in their circle.
He's
of
in their
trust.
circle of trust, and he's a good player. If he was on Denver, he would be in my circle of trust as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think about somebody like Jay Crowder. Like, I don't really want Jay Crowder on the Nuggets, but if he was, I think he'd be in the circle of trust. You know?
Man, I don't know. Boss
Yeah, he
man,
would be
Boss
there.
man 99.
He would be there.
He would be there. I mean, I don't like Jay Crowder. I think he's kind of
The funny
overrated.
thing-
I don't want him on the Nuggets. He would be in the circle of trust, though.
Jay Crowder's reputation is that he misses shots in the playoffs. That's why it's so funny that he's in the trip. Like he literally, that's what people say about
he's
him.
just in
He
the
will
circle,
fall over, though, after you run by him.
All
Just
right.
said it.
Egg Shin, is there a long-term role for Vlatko? It would be nice if he can become a consistent contributor for the next few years.
I think Vlatko's in the role he will be in, which is to say he'll play a lot of minutes because he's just can fill in for like every type of player.
I think he's in a perfect role right now. Like, you don't rely on him too much, but if you're in a pinch, you're going to give it to him. Also, he works so hard that you have to reward those type of guys.
Yeah.
So I do think that he's an NBA talent and he deserves to have some minutes, but he is never getting close to that circle of trust.
Jeez.
He's closer to mine than yours.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he's in my circle of trust too, but if you're trying to play him, then it's going to be like,
Yeah, you're in a rough spot if you have him. Like, if you have to rely on that.
yeah.
Alejandro Botello. He is curious if we think dropping the overall games to 72 would be beneficial. Really feels like back-to-backs ruin possible matchups and games.
72 is too few. I honestly think, how many back-to-backs are there every year? 8? They've gotten it down to like 8.
Well, the bad teams play more.
yeah, the bad teams play more.
So probably an average of like 8. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if you can set the schedule up. 76 feels like it could work for me. I hate this idea of cutting games out.
I know. I love games.
I
man.
love games.
More stuff for us to talk about.
Just cut out back-to-backs. And if you can't cut out back-to-backs, can you cut out all but like 2 or 3? Can you almost make a like back-to-back a thing, you know, where it's like you only have so many of the, it's like in the NFL, you have the Thursday night game or something.
Yeah.
Like, but every team has one. You don't keep
the
playing.
weird game that's like messed up.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
And try to make it
outcome.
even. Like if you only had 2 or 3 back-to-backs to schedule all year, you could probably make both teams play the back-to-back at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't want, 72 is too few. I think that there is an overcorrection to some of this that happens in the NBA with players resting too much.
Totally. Totally.
One last super chat, Sasha N. Perfect trade deadline. Bones, Green, and Smith for Caruso and DeSunmo. Are
The
trade
Bulls
exceptions.
would just not even hang up the phone. They wouldn't even answer your call. They'd block your number.
I mean, DeSunmu's a great player. Just take him off. Like trading Bones for DeSunmu would be like, you know, you're trading. DeSunmu is the defensive version of Bones, right? Like he's the inverted version. So take him out. If you said that, first of all, what do they want Ish Smith and Jeff Green for? I'm not sure what the point is. Maybe just the salary match, because both of those guys are expiring
think that's
contracts. So
the
what are you
idea
doing?
there, yeah.
So then you're just trading Bones for Caruso. That's a tough sell, even if you're Chicago, whatever. But if for some reason you could get Caruso and that was the price, absolutely. Caruso's a
To
great.
Sasha's point, it would be the perfect trade.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Caruso has been my guy. Oh, that'd be incredible.
You got Caruso and Christian Brown.
Yeah,
oh my
that
God.
actually might be too much. Dev might not sit next to me on this show anymore if that was
Man.
the case.
It wouldn't be enough room for me in town.
Jose dropping in one last time to say this team has everything they need to win it all.
Might be right. Might be right. Close enough. All right, let's take our final break. On the other side, a little around the association. There were some big games tonight. Rivalry week in the NBA. Some games had some meaning to them.
If you guys need tickets to concert shows or sporting events, hit up the Game Time app. It's the most popular new ticketing app out there. Millions and millions of people are using it. They've got these great last-minute price drops. Sit half court behind home plate for way less money than you would normally spend on one of those other sites. Check out the Game Time app, but definitely use our link in the YouTube description or in the podcast description when you go to Game Time. Concerts, shows, sporting events, Nuggets games, Avs games, whatever you need. Game Time has you covered. Also, Jive Hive. JiveHive.com to schedule a delivery. Jive Hive is a virtual dispensary on wheels.
Oh, man. Jive Hive, by the way, tweeting us out.
Shout out Jive Hive. They're probably watching right now.
They're homies, man.
Yeah. All you got to do, visit jivehive.com.
Might have something cool collaboration going. I'll just tease that. Maybe a little cool collaboration with Jive Hive.
collab.
Vibes are immaculate at the moment.
Visit
Jive
jivehive.com, jivehyve.com. Get your order delivered the same day or schedule a delivery window. We'll be there to say hi, Jive Hive says. Head over to jivehive.com. Enter your address to find out if Jive Hive can deliver to your door. Now serving Aurora, Greenwood Village, Monument, Fountain, and various areas of El Paso County. That's jivehive.com.
We back?
We're back.
Dev, take us around the association.
Perfect. Well, let's start
Quickly.
with Orlando Magic beats the Pacers 126-120.
Dude, the Pacers, man, they were a feel-good story in the NBA like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Halliburton's
they
been
really
out,
Halliburton's
and they
been
just
out.
can't win a game.
When you're young like that and you have one, you're so dependent on one player, and it's like, oh man, we could shock the world this year.
Totally.
Yeah, it's tough. Their backup point guard, though, rookie, really good.
Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin. He's good. 26 points in this game for him. Not much on their side of things. I don't know how they was winning at the beginning.
Oh, because of Halliburton. 2-8 for them in the last 10. Oof.
For the Magic is Banchero, the likely rookie of the year. He's going to be good in this league.
This is a battle of rookie.
She got
rookie of the
Gary
year
Harris's line
candidates.
tonight.
Shout it out.
22 points, 6 of 6 from 3.
Oh man, that's vintage Gary
Hang
right there.
What?
Wait,
Vintage.
trade for Gary?
Is he back?
We reunite Gary with the Nuggets?
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Yep, we'll go to what appears to be the game of the night because that's what the NBA wanted, not putting on a back-to-back. Brooklyn versus the Sixers. It looked like it lived up to expectations. Very high-scoring game. 137-133.
Yeah,
It
Joel
looks like
Embiid
the
lived up
Sixers-
to his expectations at the foul line,
The
too.
Sixers got it. Embiid had 26 points. He went 13 of 13 from the field, 10 rebounds in the game.
6 of
Maxey,
18 from the field. Like he had a crappy
Yeah,
shooting
13
night.
and 13 from the foul line.
horrible night, but they won. Tyrese Maxey had 27 points. James Harden had 23 points.
This was a chippy game, man.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
Man.
that's going to be a fun one. And actually,
Nuggets
Denver,
have 2 days off.
So
which
do the
means-
76ers.
That means that the starters
Wow.
have like 5 days off.
Yep.
Though. Like that's
Get ready for
refreshing.
that marquee matchup, man.
Kyrie Irving,
like
30 points, 10 assists in the game. Seth Curry, not Steph. Seth Curry had 32 points. That is
7 of 10 from
pretty
deep.
crazy for the
wild.
little brother.
They still
player.
lost. They didn't have KD though, man. Like that's a series I want to see for sure in the first round. In part because I kind of wonder, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not surprised Seth Curry had 7 of 10 threes tonight. I
Oh,
bet you there was a
gotcha.
lot of pick and rolls going on.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, I'll bet, can feast in this. And
Oh,
you put
yeah.
KD there. That would be a great first round. Can you imagine that first round matchup? One of those teams going home.
Oh, that'd be fine.
Could
And-
they meet in the first round, though?
Kev-
Probably second round, right?
Yeah, second round. Kevin Durant tweeting the entire game. He loved this one.
That
He's
was
at
weird.
home.
He loves Twitter,
trash
too.
talking and going crazy. To keep going around association, the Wizards, our Wizards, beat the Houston Rockets 108-103. The Wizards' best player now has to be Kyle Kuzma. He's playing
Yeah.
well. 33 points in this game to lead all scorers. On the Rocket side of things, they don't want to win games. They just don't.
How'd Şengün do?
He had 21 points. He had 11 rebounds, 10 assists.
His second
Wow.
triple
His
double.
second
Yo,
triple-double.
baby Jokic
Do you
is
feel
out
this
Baby
kinship with Şengün? Because I kind of
We
do.
root for this mold of player.
I know. He's like just really going up against it on a team with Jalen Green.
I just love that everybody is like already shouting him out. And then, he's living up to those expectations.
Speaking of Şengün, though, this is not actually, I'll get to it later. Keep going.
I'm not sure if you guys could look up the Pelicans and Timberwolves. I'll go over to the Hawks and the Thunder. As it says, like I don't have it for whatever reason.
The Wolves won.
Hawks and Thunder. Thunder lose to this one. Hawks win 137-132. This was the Shea versus
Trey.
Or
Shea
sorry,
versus
Shy.
Trey.
Shy versus Trey.
Shy
Nope, you had it
versus
right.
Try.
No, Shy.
All right, Shy.
He came out and said it
versus
this
Try.
week.
I saw that.
Yeah, but was he trolling?
He's-
Yeah,
Shy.
absolutely he was.
Yeah, Shy versus Trey. Trey Young, he went crazy in this game. 33 points, 11 assists. He was -11, still won the game because of the bench unit. They went crazy. For the Thunder, Shea had 36 points. Jalen Williams continues to play well. He had 24 points. No one else played well in this game.
Yeah. Timberwolves actually beat New Orleans.
37 for Anthony Edwards.
37 for Anthony Edwards. Gobert played. I saw people clowning him, but I guess he played well
He
in
had a
the
good
second half,
half,
is
I
what
think.
everybody was saying. No Karl Anthony Towns. Is that
it
the
the
recipe?
All-Star draft already?
Is that the recipe? What's that?
I was making an all-star draft joke.
Oh, we forgot to get to that section. Whatever. We'll do it Friday. Yeah, there's nothing else to say here other than New Orleans drops 2 in a row. Imagine being them.
Brandon Ingram came back tonight,
Oh,
right?
13 points. 4 of 18 shooting. Woo!
No, welcome back.
0 of 6 from 3.
You know that guy at the gym that like does not play for like a year or like a long time. He comes back and he thinks he's himself.
Yeah.
18 shots after not playing for that long. Like he's like, move over.
I feel attacked.
Still me. I'm still me.
Blazers are up right now on the Jazz. That game is only in the third quarter. Damian Lillard has 30 points. He might go for 50 again tonight.
Jeez.
The Blazers have like 2 speeds. Lillard's off, they're blown out. Lillard's on, close game. Lillard's on fire. Could go
Lillard's
either way.
on. Maybe Simons is on. Close game still.
Raptors beating the Kings. You were asked earlier about like, do you kind of pull for Şengün?
Yeah.
Do you know who the number 1 offensive team in the NBA is right
Oh,
now?
I know
The
who you
Kangs.
pull for.
The Sacramento Kings.
The beam team.
It's
You
it's the
only-
baby version.
You only root for a guy until they become a threat. You know what I mean? Now I see Sabonis over there, number 1 offense. I'm like, rooting
Get
against
off
him.
our lawn.
Yeah, I'm against him. I turned. I used to like Sabonis. I'm against him
Dude, the
now.
Fox Sabonis 2-man game is reminiscent of something familiar.
Then you got Herter running around,
Interesting.
a little Porter
That's
action.
interesting.
I'm out. I root against him.
Can't root for him.
Can't
Too
root
good.
for it. And then the Spurs are beating the Lakers. My God. Please put it on them. Please put
The
it
Rui
Anthony
Hachimura
Davis.
debut game.
Oh, the Rui Hachimura giving you Anthony Davis. Please let them lose to the Spurs who don't want to win. I would. Popovich, though, Popovich has it in him to be like, yes, we're tanking, but too perfect a chance
He's
to really.
the guy who didn't want to trade Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers in the first place.
Oh,
Of
just-
course he wants to beat them.
This would be great if they snuck up on him and got him today. That'd be incredible. All right, hit that outro music for us, Kale. Oh, the last one, the Warriors and Grizzlies locked up 54-53. Grizzlies with a slight edge here. Grizzlies on a 3-game losing streak. Would not mind seeing that slide a little bit more.
Yeah, let's go home and watch the second half.
Go Dubs.
All right, everybody. You sickos hanging out on a loser's lounge on one of the most boring games of the year. You guys are the real
appreciate
OGs. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we're going to be at the Breck Brew Farmhouse. We're off tomorrow, taking our day off tomorrow. We'll be back Friday from the Breck Brew Farmhouse at 2 o'clock. You can come down and join us if you want. We'll see you then.